ready,
recording.
yeah.
You
Just
said
go
it was
ahead and
for
start
you.
with your argument.
Okay.
Who's gonna stuff is recording?
So yeah, I guess I'm taking the affirmative position. Personally, I think we ought to be vegan. I think we have a moral imperative to do so, and I think that's what this argument is going to be about. Unless
All
I'm
right, but
mistaken.
just to clarify, just if you think something, like, that's not the premises of the debate.
What do you mean?
Like, I can't just go
Obviously,
ahead and say, oh, I
what I
think
think is
we
my
ought to be
premise.
vegan, or I think we ought not to be vegan, right? Like,
Well,
that wouldn't,
yeah, that's my premise. Do you
I
know what the
mean, then our
premise is?
premises wouldn't be mutually exclusive, would they?
What What are you talking about?
So you think I ought to be
Wait.
vegan.
Yeah,
Yeah, you think I ought to be
I
vegan. But if you just
yeah,
think
and
that
so
without
I'm
any
stating my.
justification, that's okay, but, like,
Okay, no, I don't. First of all, I'm not going to do this pseudo-intellectual bullshit where I state my premise, which is what everyone does in the beginning of a debate, and then you're going to try and rat your way out of this by saying, "Oh
no,
well,
no, I'm not trying to rat
you're
my
only
way.
giving
I
a."
just don't want you
Oh,
to
okay.
rat on me.
Sorry. No. Maybe I'm misinterpreting. I'm just giving my premise because that's where arguments start. If you'd like,
Okay,
you can give
I'm gonna
your
make this
premise
pretty
of.
simple. Maybe this is a misinterpretation. Your premise is that you think I ought to be vegan, right?
Yeah. Wait, real quick? Do you know what a premise is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a premise is just the bold text of your
hmm
argument. It's like
I know what a premise is.
yeah, it's like if you're writing an essay and you have your first sentence where you
Like your
give
header. Yeah,
your
yeah, for
premise.
sure.
Yes, exactly, your header. So I'm
But
simply
I just
giving my
the
header,
only problem
right?
is, Ian, I don't want to go into this debate and your premise is I think you ought to be vegan, and then we start the debate and you say, oh, I think you ought to be vegan. I fulfill my premise. Like,
Oh, no, no. No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm
because
saying
like I've heard
you
people
ought to
rat
be
on that
vegan.
before, right?
No. I'm saying I'm just no. Okay, no, my bad. I think we're just a little. I think we're both just a little scared. We're gonna rat on each other in this scenario. So what I'm
Because
saying
I'm not
is,
gonna rat
yeah,
on
no,
you.
no. What I'm saying is, my premise is that like you ought to be vegan because of I think it's morally right to do
All
so,
right, I'm
and
gonna
so
write that
that's
down.
probably
Yeah.
where yeah, there you go. And so that's where the moral argument is probably going to happen. I think that's probably going to be our disagreement there.
Okay. Yeah, I just didn't want you to come in here and rat on me.
Okay. Yeah,
Because I've
so
had
that's my
people try to
premise.
do that before me. Oh, I think because I think, something like that.
Uh-huh.
All right, yeah, you can go ahead and start with your. I thought that was a simple misunderstanding.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think simply we should be vegan because we have a moral imperative to do so. I don't see any reason why um, there would be a difference between humans and animals. So just to be consistent, in terms of if I would kill or eat them, or whether I'd give moral consideration to them. So just to be
So
consistent within my own moral standings,
I
and
have
most
I have a
people's moral
few things
standings.
that like
Wait, real quick.
decide if I give something
Wait, no,
moral
no, no,
consideration.
real quick.
Yeah.
Let me finish my sentence, please. So I think to be
Yeah, sorry.
consistent with me and most people's moral stances, I think you ought
Okay.
to be vegan. Obviously, there are a couple of
So I have a
scenarios.
few defining factors
Okay.
when I grant something moral consideration and when I don't. You want me to share those with
Yeah, I think that would be helpful.
you? Sure. Let me pull this up for you.
Uh-huh.
I have it saved in my. Okay, so at least for my first offense of mediating, this would be my This would you can check where can we put it? Maybe scans. You can check my essentially my guidelines. Like I will grant anything with that moral consideration. I
What
won't grant
about
anything with that.
what about a system of harmless slaughter for only beings with a lower intelligence than a chicken, while also being from a species without moral agency?
hmm
So I guess your classifications is a certain level of intelligence, and then also a
Being
species
from
without
a
moral agency.
yeah, without a single member with more.
Um, okay. Well, could you give some examples that would fit those
Yeah, sure,
qualifications, please?
like a fish or like a shrimp.
Okay. Um, so there's a couple things here.
Sure.
Um, for one, we have profit incentives. That's the first reason why I would say I would have a moral complication with supporting an industry that, for one, has multi-use. It's a multi-use industry. So if I'm going to be giving a profit incentive to something like the seafood industry, it's also contributing to killing things that do have those qualifications.
Well,
That's just number one.
I'm not saying I support like factory farming fish or
Well, you would if you're like, let's say you want to go like buy fish or whatever the fuck, right? Like you go to the market, you buy some fish.
yeah, but I'm talking
You're
about like
supporting the industry with
what
your
if I go
dollar
out and like
by killing something like fucking dolphins, like fucking, shit that you would grant moral consideration,
mhm,
right? And then
yeah,
yeah, and then secondly,
but I
I'm
would
curious
then
to what.
sorry.
Well, for one, I'm curious about your system of granting moral consideration, because if we're basing it off of intelligence, you said less intelligent than a chicken.
Yeah,
I mean, how would you even base intelligence in this scenario? Like, how would
yeah.
you
I
rate
mean, we can
intelligence?
observe basic forms of intelligence, spatial intelligence, connective intelligence, social intelligence. Um, moving away from that and doing the point you addressed earlier, I don't wanna like misunderstand your position,
Hmm.
but I'm not defending factory farming um animals. I'm just saying, what if I went out to the
Uh-huh.
ocean personally, or I went to a natural lake or river and fished myself? Like, I
Okay,
don't
so
know why me not being
okay,
vegan.
so your issue,
Please,
your issue
please let me
isn't.
finish. I'll let you speak. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Um, so I don't see why like consuming these products inherently or necessarily mean I'm going to be financially supporting the industry of factory farming.
Okay. Well, for one, I guess like if we have this hypothetical where you literally provide food for yourself in all circumstances by fishing, then okay,
Well, I
I
also eat
guess
vegetables
from
and
there
fruits,
we.
right? But,
Well, yeah, I'm not saying you would. I'm just saying in
sure.
terms of like getting these fish, you like have a lake or something by you go fish,
Mhm.
yada yada. In that scenario, I guess that's fine. But if we're going to talk about your system of rating something's intelligence, I mean, fish have long-term intelligence, they use tools, and they have sophisticated social structures. So I'm not sure by which
Fish?
means you would
I
really
mean,
even classify them being dumber
w-
than a chicken.
would you show me like a shrimp having a sophisticated social structure
Yeah, sure.
and like
Give
using
me two
tools?
seconds,
I've never
please.
seen evidence of that.
Hmm. Give me
Well,
two seconds.
can we agree on something like pretty reasonable? Like, don't take like 15 minutes to pull this one.
One second.
Yeah, sure. I mean, there's even like I was saying. I mean, of course, this would be fallacious, right? But like,
Wait, what would be
if
fallacious?
no, what I'm about to say, like, I'm just trying to exemplify a point a little bit. I'm not trying to use it
Okay.
as a piece of evidence. But there's like an old
Hmm.
saying. It's like stupid as a bucket of shrimp. So
Okay.
I'm just
I
saying
mean,
because
there's
like
plenty
I
of
don't know
other
what kind of
farm animals that have been put in your classification that people also say, dumb as a pig, dumb. I mean,
I guess
so it
so.
doesn't
Yeah.
really
I mean,
matter. So,
I never heard dumb as a pig. I was just coming up with something. It just came to mind.
um, so here's something on like a beginner's guide to keeping shrimp, which is like, it's a guide on tending shrimp. And in this,
Yeah.
it
Where's this at?
claims, and I'm putting it in scans for you.
Awesome. Appreciate
Um,
it.
in it claims if you're like this is a guide for purchasing shrimp, but it says when purchasing shrimp, please keep in mind that they are social animals and they do best in large groups of at least 10 individuals. Any less than this, and they will tend to hide rather than graze as a group out in the open. So, I
Hmm.
mean, they clearly have, at least in some capacity, sophisticated social structure and a form of intelligence.
Yeah. You mind if I attack that a little bit?
Go ahead.
Thank you. First of all, I don't understand how this holds much weight at all. This isn't scientific in any way. I understand that I just gave you a second to research it, so I'm not expecting like a dissertation here. But this isn't very scientific evidence. It's just like a beginner's
Okay. Do you
guide on
want
shrimp
scientific?
on the
Do you
website.
want scientific evidence?
I mean, if I could finish my point.
But do you want
Um,
scientific evidence just so I can get it while you
yeah, if you
speak?
could bring me something a little more scholarly than what is this? A Beginner's Guide to Keeping Shrimp by boostplant.com. I would appreciate it. I'm
Okay,
not
here you
gonna
go.
download that. I'm sorry.
Here's a PDF from Solomon T.C. Schock, Raymond Bauer, and Martin Thayo. And in it, it is Chapter 5, Social Behavior and Recognition in Decapod Shrimps with emphasis on the Caridia, which it's basically just a breakdown of the social structure and the social behavior of shrimp. It's a
I'm not gonna lie to
28-page
you.
document.
I've been logged before. I'm not gonna click on that. Can you tell me the title of the book? Like type it out.
Um, Hold on, let me go to the author page real quick
Yeah, thank you.
because I have the chapter, but not the specific book it's from.
Mhm. Yeah, it's fine. I'll give you a second.
Let's see. Um, well, here, let me just try and look up the author, and maybe we can get something from there. Yeah. Let's see. Solomon T.C. Schock.
Yeah. Also, like I don't really understand how like staying in numbers is really a sophisticated social structure. Um, like I'm
Well,
sure you
if you
even
want, I
wrote.
can read out I can read and send the conclusion to you, which would basically be a
No, you can just send me the
TLDR of what this
chapter
is all
would be
saying.
okay. And the book?
Yeah, well, basically the conclusion goes Caridian
Yeah,
shrimps are
but
diverse in their
I'd like to
ecology,
see the
mating,
book
and social
itself. Like
behavior.
I'd like to be
Yeah,
able
I'll
to
send
read
it.
it,
Yeah,
not just
yeah,
explain
I
it.
know. I'll send it to you, man. Just be a little patient, please. And social behavior. So it is not surprising that all types of social recognition are observed in this group. All types of social recognition. Among the various forms of recognition in Caridian shrimps, mate recognition is strongly suggested by behavioral studies in several species. Oh, wait. Mate recognition is best documented in which potential distance and contact pheromones have been strongly suggested by behavioral studies in several species and even tentatively identified it in a few species. With the previous work on these candidate pheromones and the documentation of social recognition in many species, similar pheromones could be more easily identified in other shrimp species. This would further advance the study of communication and social recognition in this group. And it goes on and on, basically saying that, in all of these different aspects, how shrimp are social creatures.
I know,
Here,
but
real
all I'm
quick,
asking you, Ian, is
is
like,
for the
yeah,
is for the book.
I mean, I
Uh,
trust you, I guess, but like, I'd
Here,
like
hold
to see
on.
it myself.
First, well, it's from a PDF, so just give me a second. Well,
Oh
first,
yeah, it's fine.
just so you can read it yourself, here's a screenshot I took of the entire conclusion, and then from there, I'm gonna look up the author name to see if I can find the book for you. Okay.
For sure, thank you. Because like, I'm sure you seem like an intelligent guy. You do know fish. You can check my two sources here. Like a plant would also hold the same level of sentience, right? And I don't think you would describe like a plant as having like even relative intelligence to a chicken.
Well, no,
Like both of the
I
things you
wouldn't
just
say that these
described,
have the same
I can
level
trust.
of I wouldn't say that these have
What'd
the
you say?
same level of sentience. I
Okay,
wouldn't
but
say
I
that these
just
have the
showed
same
you
level of
both
sentience.
of the things you described, the pheromone producers and the levels of essentially grouping together via so they can transfer nutrients, etc., between species more efficiently is also prevalent in plants. And I don't think you'd say plants have a very like complex social structure.
Yeah, can you show me examples of plants traveling together in groups?
And traveling together, that's a misnomer.
It actually isn't,
Obviously, plants can't
because
travel.
that's what the paper is speaking on.
Okay, but obviously, plants can't travel.
Oh well, my okay, my apologies. Not travel, but like, can you show me an example of like plants like purposefully coming together in groups to for in
Sure,
some
yeah, yeah,
for
probably.
some sort of like social benefit or benefit to themselves?
Sure. Are you familiar with
CC
where is
shock.
it? Let me know. I won't talk to you about it. I'll just pull it up for you. You know what? This is kind of relaxing. You know, most people nowadays just spurg, but
Um, no, yeah, I really don't like that shit. So I kind of definitely prefer to do that
I've
this
heard you
kind of
were a
thing.
spurg before. I guess I were lying.
Um,
I
I've
think
done it every
Archimedes
now and
told me
then.
that.
Yeah, I do it every now and then, but it's only when I like kind of lose my temper, so don't worry.
Hmm.
Or I think a better example is, can you show me an example of plants having some form of like sociality
Well, okay. If I was about to
or
post the other thing.
yeah, or like use
Use
social
social?
behavior?
What is that? I don't even know what that means.
So it's basically advanced social behavior that entails nest sharing, division of labor, including a caste system,
Well,
overlapping generations
obviously,
so that
listen.
offspring assist
Obviously,
patients.
plants don't have nests. So,
Okay.
like, I don't know
Does
what
it
you're
meet
getting at
any of the
there.
other classifications? Like a division of
Um,
labor,
how do you spell use
overlapping
social?
generations where the offspring assist parents. Eusocial,
What is
it's EUSOCIAL.
use sociality?
Yeah, and then I can here real quick. I can
So,
send you
use
another thing about
sociality is
use.
what you're defining as like a complex social structure.
It's definitely a form of it. And from here, I can send you this, which shows use, which is an example of eusociality in the genomes of shrimp, or how eusociality in snapping shrimps is associated with larger genomes. Basically, my point being that even something like shrimp, which I mean are clearly dumber than chickens, at
Yeah, we would
least
agree.
I believe in some capacity,
Yeah, yeah.
showcase like high levels of social structure, like
All right,
literally
but they
like
are dumber
divisions
than
of
chickens,
labor,
right?
a caste system, nesting, grazing together. I mean, this is clearly much different than any forms of like than any forms of plant sociability.
Okay, sure, but you just agreed they were dumber than chickens, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying that's not relevant.
All right, so if they're dumber than chickens and the species doesn't have a moral agency, I'd be okay with eating.
Yeah, okay. What I'm saying is my whole point of you saying that, well, if something's dumber than a chicken, then I'm like, okay, well, how would you classify that? You said you'd classify it by many monikers of intelligence, and I'm confused at what moniker of intelligence you're rating
Well,
it
I don't think
by.
that's relevant now
If
because
we
you disagree with my point that they're dumber than chickens.
No, I don't think you're
You
understanding.
obviously
I'm
have a
asking
moniker for
how I'm
intelligence.
no no no. I'm asking how your classifications are relevant
Well,
if you
you
have
just
no
agreed that
bearing
you
for
must have a
how
moniker.
you rate intelligence. Because you said, okay, what about social structure as
D,
showcase shrimp
D,
having a high level of
E.
social structure? hmm Do you understand what I'm saying? Because I don't think I think you might be missing the point. I'm saying, okay, even if I personally think a shrimp is dumber than a chicken,
You're asking for monitors, right?
I'm saying that your reasoning for that being your moral justification for eating animals is irrelevant because I'm asking on what grounding you're supposing this, and it
Ian,
seems to be just a
Ian,
presupposition
I said I
because we
wouldn't get
haven't found it.
noisy, and I wouldn't talk loud if you don't over talk me. I think you're over talking. Like we can do this.
Okay, my apology. Oh no, I'm not over talking you. I'm just
Yes, you are.
explaining to
You're
you because you
shotgunning me,
asked for an
actually.
explanation.
You're
Did you
shotgunning
not
me,
ask for an
actually.
explanation because I was
No,
giving it
because
to
you're
you?
shotgunning me right now. You're talking about monikers. You're talking about how you didn't disagree with me. You're talking about how I would classify through different benchmarks, intelligence. Like you're blatantly shotgunning me.
I'm not.
Yes, you are. Do you know what I'm
You
talking
were trying to rat out a W by saying, "Well, you just admitted that shrimp are dumber than chickens," and I'm like, "Well,
about? I did.
obviously, I'm saying that you have no. I'm saying that the whole reason I said that is that it's irrelevant. There's no grounding that you've given for
Dude.
a shrimp being dumber than a chicken,
Okay, let me
justifying
catch you on this really quickly. So
justifying
let
your
me
immortality.
listen.
Immorality. My apologies.
Immortality. Okay. Um,
Immortality.
fair enough. Okay, let me address like the shotgun that you just did on me really quickly.
Uh-huh.
First of all, like, what are you talking about, dude? You disagreed? You literally disagreed that like shrimp are
It's a
dumber than
strong
chicken. You
argument.
must have a moniker, right? You understand that. You're gauging intelligence. So there must be a moniker you can gauge intelligence. You agree with my point that they're stupider than chickens. Just because I caught you
Wait,
after I
wait,
talked about plants,
wait.
don't interrupt me.
Can I interject real
Don't
quick?
interrupt me. You don't have permission to speak. Thank you.
Okay, go
When
ahead.
when you said that they're dumber than chickens, you disagree with my entire point. The only reason I caught you is because you I was talking about plants and you contradicted yourself or you forgot exactly what the point was on.
Wait, you
And
realize I'm asking why that's relevant, right? Do you
I
understand that?
I don't care if you're asking why it's relevant. You agreed with me.
Oh, so you don't care about the argument. You don't care about
I didn't say that.
addressing the
That's a straw
argument
man.
then. Because my whole point
I
of
didn't say that's a
asking,
straw man. I didn't say
wait,
that's a
wait,
straw man.
I was asking you on what moniker
Yeah, and you agreed that there's a
you're
moniker
judging
because they're
intelligence
dumber.
by. And you haven't given a single go ahead. I said a shrimp is dumber than a chicken. How is this relevant?
Okay, so drop it.
And then you said
Someone drop the
earlier in the
recording.
argument, it's because, well, I said, how would you even rate this a level of intelligence lower than a chicken? You said, well, there's a lot of ways to do this. And then I said, okay, let's
Mm-hmm.
bring some of these reasons up. And you said, well, there's many ways we can rate social intelligence, blah, blah, blah. And so we brought the example of a shrimp. You
True.
haven't given a negative claim to my positive affirmations of shrimp being
I
highly
don't need to create a negative claim
intelligent,
if you agree with my position.
but I don't.
You just did. You said that a shrimp is stupider than a chicken, which was my claim.
Yeah, and I'm asking why that claim's relevant to
I
your
mean,
premise. How is
because
that
it's
claim
obviously
relevant to your
relevant
premise?
to my moral criteria.
How is that claim relevant to your premise if it has no bearings to stand on?
Because it's true within my moral criterias, which is what we're debating on, right? If my moral criterias make me
But
right
I
or
asked by
malicious.
which moniker you're rating intelligence lower than a chicken,
By
and
which
you didn't give
moniker? I
anything.
gave you several monikers, right?
Yeah, and
And
then we
then
ran through
we ran
any moniker
through
you wanted to
two
talk
of them.
about. And did you
We
give a
ran through
negative
two of them. I
affirmations
gave you
to my
empirics. You literally gave
refutations?
me my empirics.
And
Ian,
did you give
Let
any
me talk.
negative
That's a question. That's a
affirmations?
question.
Did you
That's a
give any negative affirmations to my refutations? No,
You
you
let me
didn't.
talk. You let me talk. Okay? Please. Thank you.
Go ahead. You're allowed.
Um, first of all, you never refuted my empirics, by the way. I'll just say that. Second of all, if
What
we
empirics?
agree,
Wait, what empirics are you talking about? Sorry.
the empirics that I gave you, um,
Where is that?
the two books, two chapters, two books. Um, so
Wait,
what I was saying
the two chat. Wait.
is, if you agree that if shrimp are
What in the?
stupider,
Can you?
right?
Uh
Ian,
huh.
listen. If you're gonna continue to interrupt me, we're gonna have problems. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so scared of the dude with a B stars profile picture,
You
my guy.
should be. You should be. Wait, you should be because I'll violate you out like badly. I don't want to do that. I want to be chill. Okay. Thank you.
I'm scared, man.
You should be. What? Unironically.
You said you should be while your voice cracked. Come on, just say what you want to
My voice
say.
didn't
Don't get so
crack. Prove my
nervous.
voice cracked. I'll give you 5 minutes.
It's on
Exactly. You get
recording. You
below me
realize
or
that,
below me,
right?
dude. Get
You
back.
realize it's on
Okay, but
recording, right? Your shaky voice. You should be scared.
Let me
Wait,
talk.
you can. Sorry, you can continue with your point. There you go. You can
Thank
continue.
you. Yeah, I appreciate it. I don't need your permission, but I appreciate it.
Okay.
So pretty much like you agreed with me that so they do fit my criteria, right? Shrimp fit my criteria. That's true.
Um. Well, we haven't even gotten to the moral agency
I
part,
asked you, do they
but
fit my criteria?
well, I wouldn't say so. No.
Well, they obviously fit the first part. You agree that they fit the first
I guess.
part. All right. So if you agree that they fit the
But my
first
whole
part, let's
point is
move
that
on to the
that's,
moral
but my
agency.
whole point is that that's irrelevant, right?
Well, I don't care if
Because
you
I'm
think it's
asking by
irrelevant.
which
It does
moniker,
fit my criteria, right? That's what
because
we're talking
again,
about.
I asked by which
If my
moniker you
criteria
would
makes
rate
me bite heavy
intelligence
bullets,
lower than a chicken. And you
which you
said,
agree with,
well,
right?
there's a lot of ways we can rate intelligence lower than a chicken. I said, like what? You said social intelligence. I brought
Which
up
you
multiple
agree with,
examples of
right?
shrimp
Okay,
being
you
social
agreed
creatures
with
and
my
being
first
socially.
stipulation.
Are shrimp socially intelligent? Yes or no?
I'm not answering that question until you answer mine.
Okay, so you don't have an answer?
No, that's not what I said. What's your
Okay, so you
IQ?
don't have an answer. Okay, so
No,
do you want to move on
I
to
asked
another
you to
form of
answer my
intelligence?
question. Do you agree with
So
my
do you want
first
to move? So
criteria
do
or
you want to
no?
move on to another form of intelligence or no?
What? We don't need
So
to.
do you
You
want to
agreed
move
with
on
my
to
first
another form of
criteria.
intelligence or no? So is a
You agreed
shrimp
with my first
socially
criteria.
intelligent? Yes or no?
You agreed with my first criteria, idiot. Okay? Like,
Yeah, I
what's
agreed,
the
and then I
part in
said,
your
how is
head?
that relevant?
Do you agree with my
I
first
said, okay,
criteria?
but
Do you
how is
fit
that
with
relevant?
that criteria? Yes or no?
Yeah, but how does that route back to your premise?
Rabak, because I'm setting my criteria. You said I ought to be vegan, right?
Uh huh.
And I gave you a premise. I'm not I premise. I gave you a what are people spelling GD for? What does that even mean? Okay. I gave you a criteria and we're going over if my
Hmm.
criteria fits any animals and or makes me bite heavy bullets, which I don't think it does either, right?
Yeah, and
Because
then
you
I said,
agree
by
that
which
shrimp,
moniker would you rate
no,
something being dumber than
you
a
agree that
chicken?
shrimp fit the first stipulation. So let's move to the second stipulation.
No, but I said, by which criteria would you
But
stipulate
you
that
agreed that they fit
something
the
is
first
dumber than a
criteria.
chicken?
It came out of your
I can
mouth.
personally think something. I'm talking about your moral system.
Yeah, but you're
You realize
debating
that,
me.
right?
You agreed with my first criteria that shrimp fit it.
Yeah, but I'm
Did you
asking
not?
why that's relevant. But I'm asking
Because
why
it's
that's
part of my
relevant.
criteria, Ian. We can move on to
Yeah,
that
but
later.
I'm saying your criteria isn't relevant.
Okay, you can think that, but I set a criteria, and I don't think it's gonna make me buy bullets. So like we
Wait,
can
but
go
I
through it and see
showcased
if I
why
ought
your
to be vegan.
criteria isn't relevant, and you realize that you have to showcase why it is
How's my
relevant for your
criteria
argument to
relevant?
work in the first part.
It is a how is it's literally the focus point of the debate is if my criteria makes me buy bullets.
Because I said by which point would being dumber than a chicken be relevant, and you said, well,
Anything
there's
dumber
many
than a
ways we
chicken.
can
I
rate
already stipulated
intelligence.
this. It's written in text. Like I don't know if you're illiterate, but it's written right there.
Yeah, I see it written, and
So you agree with the first
I'm
stipulation
not
that shrimp are dumber
understanding.
than
I'm not
chicken.
understanding how this is relevant to your argument or how it circles back to your premise. If you're
How
not
it
going
circles
to
back to my premise
substantiate,
because I'm setting a
yeah, if you're not going
criteria.
to substantiate why it's relevant.
I am. You want me to? I already substantiated for you. Maybe like your skull's getting a little too thick, but I
No,
can explain it.
my skull is plenty normally sized. The
Plenty
stipulation I
normally
have
sized.
here,
I
it
explained
is a
it to you why
normally
it's
sized
relevant.
skull.
It's relevant
The
because you say
stipulation
I
is that
ought to be vegan. I set a
until you
criteria for what I
substantiate
don't give
why
moral
this is the
consideration.
case,
Listen, Ian,
what you wrote
I
down
set a
is just
criteria for
babble.
what I don't give moral consideration to, right? And now we're going over it, what I don't give moral consideration to, and if it makes me bite any bullets. And we're going through the
Yeah, and
stipulations of what I do
you
and don't give
realize you're
moral
biting down on a
consideration.
bullet by not giving substantiation as to how this is relevant. Because I'm
I
asking
already
you a
explained how
question
it's
and
relevant.
you're
I already
slithering
explained because I
around the
don't give moral
question.
consideration to some animals, and I give qualifications why.
Yeah, but why?
Why? Because it's my moral system, dude. What do you mean? Like what?
Okay,
You're
you
just
realize you can't come into a debate and just go, I think something's wrong because I think it does. Like, no shit, dumbass. I'm asking you to substantiate it.
because I'm giving criteria. I'm naming the trait, homie.
Yeah, why is the criteria relevant?
Because
I'm
you asked
asking you
me,
a
this is
question,
about my moral system, right? I ought to be vegan.
I think it's been 10 minutes now. You've been slithering around the question as to why your
I've
criteria
answered
is
your
relevant.
question 5 times. Please,
Why is the
please,
criteria relevant?
bro.
Bro, why is it relevant?
I explain. You want me to? I'm gonna say it one more
Why is
time. And if you don't understand,
not why what you wrote down is relevant. Why is the criteria relevant?
because you're saying I ought to be
Which I guess
vegan,
you also wrote.
you're taking it normatively. I ought to be.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So we're talking about moral systems. I
Uh-huh.
said within my moral system,
Uh-huh.
this is what I don't or do give consideration to.
Yeah, but why?
Why?
Yeah, why?
Like that's not a question. That's not a question. That's not a non-question.
No.
Like what does
It's
that
a
mean?
question. You just don't have an answer. And
Why
until
do I
you
have
and as long as you don't
criteria?
have an answer.
Why do I have
Yeah,
criteria?
no.
I mean, all
Yeah,
morals are
yeah,
intuitive, right?
what's the reason behind your criteria?
I mean, all morals are intuitive, right?
No, not necessarily.
Where do your morals come from that isn't intuitive?
That isn't intuitive.
That isn't intuitive.
Hold on. Intuitive. What do we mean by intuitive?
Do you know what the denotation for intuitive is?
Using or based on what one feels to be true, even without conscious reasoning,
Intuition.
instinctive? No, I wouldn't say so.
Then what's your moral system based off if it isn't intuitive?
It doesn't necessarily have to be intuitive. It can just be based on rationality, even if you feel like it's not correct.
Yeah, but it still has an intuitive bootstrap, right?
No, not necessarily.
Okay, so what's the foundation for your morality?
I mean, I would say it's a mix of intuition and rationality because you can do things that you feel are wrong, but you know are right.
Okay, but like what I'm asking for you,
Like if
what
someone's
I'm
a
trying to explain to
pedophile,
you,
like if someone's a
maybe you don't
pedophile,
understand. I'll say
if
it again.
someone's a pedophile and their brain thinks it's okay to fuck children, but they don't because they know it's wrong, that's going against
Yeah, they
intuition.
intuitively know
You
it's wrong,
realize that,
right?
right? No, their brain is intuitively telling them it's okay to fuck children.
No, that's an instinct. There's a difference between an instinct and an intuition.
Wait, do you need me to read the definition again?
You're
Using or
really being
based on what
retarded.
one feels to
You're
be
really
true,
being
even without conscious reasoning, instinctive.
intuitive. Okay, maybe I can define intuitive for you. Maybe you don't understand. I can
I
explain it
just
a
read
little
you the
more.
definition. I just read you the definition.
I said maybe you don't understand. I can explain it in depth. If you can give me something which isn't intuitive, which means not just comes from an intuition, some kind of baseline bootstrap, that is the foundation for your moral system. You can show me that. Like I don't think that exists.
Okay. I mean, you can repeat yourself, but I feel like we're just getting sidetracked here. What is the substantiation behind your
Because I this
clarification
is how I judge
on why
moral
you think it's
consideration.
okay? So why is it relevant that you think anything dumber than a chicken, which is you haven't even given a definition
You
or some
agreed
sort
that
of
chickens are
baseline
dumber than chickens.
criticism
You agreed that they fit the first
by how you would rate
qualification.
something dumber than a
You agreed that
chicken?
they fit the first qualification, didn't you, Ian?
In my personal opinion.
Okay, so
Okay, but
you
that's
agree
not
with my
relevant to
claim then.
that's not relevant to your argument, is it?
Yeah, but
Because
we're
we're talking about
agreeing.
you.
We literally
Wait, are we talking?
agreed.
So did I write that down? Did I write that down, Monkey King? No, I didn't. Okay, so we're talking
No, wait,
about
I don't think you did.
we're,
You just agreed with me
okay,
in the
okay, good.
recording, though.
So we're talking about your criteria, are we not?
So you agree with my first
Okay, so why is
stipulation.
your criteria relevant to yourself?
What?
Why is your criteria of something dumber than a chicken relevant to your relevant?
Relevant to my? Why is it relevant to my moral system?
Yeah, yeah. If you haven't proven to me why shrimp are dumber than chicken,
You
why is it
agree that they
relevant?
are.
No, you haven't. Okay, I can personally agree, but my definition is much different than
How
yours,
explaining these are
right?
different
And
than
my criteria are different than yours. I don't make stipulations based on intelligence. Okay,
Yeah, but you agree that they fit the first stipulation.
in my opinion. Okay.
Okay, so we agree on that.
Okay. So can you give me a reason why shrimp are dumber than chickens?
You agree that they are, bro. Bro,
Wait. So
easy.
why are shrimp dumber than chickens?
Can we bring in a third party here? I don't think you're understanding.
I don't think you're understanding. Why are shrimp
That's
dumber than
okay.
chickens?
I
Can
think
you give a
I think
reason?
everyone else sees here
Can
that
you
like,
wait? Can you give a reason?
what do you mean?
Can you give a reason why shrimp are dumber than chickens?
You agree that they are, so I don't need to further
But we're
explain.
talking about you though. But we're talking about you
Yeah,
though.
we agree on
Are
the
we not?
claim.
Yeah, but for different reasons. Because I'm not making moral statements based on intelligence. You are.
It doesn't matter.
So
We
in what
still agree on the epistemic
relevant
fact.
way is a shrimp dumber than a chicken that you
We
wouldn't grant it
agree
moral
on the
consideration
epistemic
anymore?
fact that shrimp are dumber than chickens. We agree that me and you.
Yeah, but it's not. But it's relevant to us in two ways. You're making a
Okay,
moral
that's
claim based
okay,
on
but we still
intelligence,
agree on the
and I'm
epistemic fact,
asking in
right?
what relevant way is a shrimp dumber than a chicken as to where you wouldn't
Because
grant it moral
that's one of
consideration
the
anymore.
stipulations I use to
And you've
grant
been
moral
slithered.
consideration.
Yeah. In what relevant way? Again, in what relevant way is a shrimp dumber than a chicken to where you wouldn't grant it moral consideration anymore?
That's how my moral system operates.
Excuse me? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
That's how my moral system operates.
Yeah, for what reason?
I don't know. I guess this is intuitive, right? Like
Okay,
also,
so you have no reason.
what? No, I just gave you a reason. Can you not
Yeah,
hear?
yeah. No, that's not a reason. That's just you saying it is because you feel like it. So what's the reason
No, I'm
why you
saying
think
because
shrimp are
that's
dumber in any
intuition.
relevant
It's a
way to where you
moral
wouldn't grant
judgment.
it
That's how
moral
moral
consideration?
systems work, Ian. And if
You
you had
should know
more
me
than
well. You
five
a
brain
fucking
cells
white
in
boy.
sixth school, you would understand that. Like seriously, I thought you were gonna come in here and have an intellectual conversation, but you're just going brain dead.
So are you saying that if you have any moral conversation, you can't back up what you believe just because you think
Not
what
by
you
an
know is
objective
intuitive?
standard. No, you can't either. These
Okay.
morals are
So if I
subjective, dude.
ask you, so if I ask you, so why are we having this conversation? If I ask you, why do you think why do you think it's okay to kill a shrimp and not a chicken? You're just gonna go because I feel like it. You know that's not an argument,
Do
right?
I have to bite a bullet? Do I have to listen? Do I have to bite a bullet, right?
Listen, can you give me a
Within my
reason for
moral
why your
system to be
moral
able to consume
standards to
animals.
why your moral standards Okay, can you give
Because
me a
that's how my
reason as to
moral
why you
systems work.
believe what you believe?
What is your brain? What is your? Is it mush? Is your brain literally mush? Like, does it shake around
Monkey
like
King,
a
Monkey
freezing in
King,
there
all
on
I'm
you?
asking of you is what is the reason for why you believe what you
And I'm
believe?
telling you, I've told you
If you
five
can't get
times,
past if you
moral
can't get past
systems
a
are based off of
preschool tier
intuition.
question,
It is
then I'm gonna
intuitive.
treat you like a preschooler and I'm gonna have to talk to you like a dumb fucking 3-year-old kid. Okay?
Yeah. What?
Hey, don't shoot up the school. Come on. Calm down.
What do you? What does that even mean? What does that
Kid, you're
even
talking
mean? Like you're just
kid, you're
throwing at your word salading at this point. Like you're just
kid.
saying things without even like respond. Actually, this is fallacious. You know what invincible ignorance is?
You should know me well. You a
Kid, you're
fucking
talking
white
to
boy.
yourself like you have voices in
It
your
ain't
head. All I'm
exclusive to
asking.
music.
How?
Oh wait, I finally got it, guys. Guys,
You
he
ready for
can't
this
answer
shit?
the
I'll say
question because
hell.
he's getting asked like 7 different questions. The 6 voices in his head is also asking him questions.
Ian, close your mouth before you talk more and you sound more like an idiot. Okay, you can close your mouth and be an idiot, but no one will know. Okay, please, like get it through your sixth
Okay.
grade.
All I'm asking is for the answer to the question. I don't understand
I
why the scope
answered
is so
in
necessary.
time. You want me to say it again? If you be quiet, I'll say it again. Okay?
I'm asking for an answer other than I believe what I believe because I
I
believe it. Like no shit,
please be
dummy. No
quiet.
shit.
Please be
I'm
quiet, and
asking
I'll
for a
answer
reason
you.
as to why
Those
you
aren't
believe
fair.
what you believe. I'm asking you a
What was that?
question as to why you believe what you believe. It's not
How
very
about you close your
complicated.
mouth, and I'll explain to you one more time, and maybe if you're not talking, you can understand.
Wait a minute. Is the answer going to
No,
be
no,
I believe
no.
what
I'm
I
gonna give you
believe
reasoning, just like
because
I
I
did before.
believe it?
I'm gonna
Okay.
give you
Go
reasoning,
ahead.
just like you did before.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah,
So you
permission, go ahead.
asked me why this is relevant within my moral system. I
Uh-huh.
told you moral systems, first of all, are subjective. So these are my moral judgments. Second of all, are intuitive. So this is my moral intuitions, right? We're talking about my moral system. I don't know how you're trying to appeal to like this weird objective
Yeah, but I'm
value I
asking
have
for
to derive
reasoning
my
though.
moral system.
Do you think you don't need reasoning for what you believe?
I gave you reasoning.
No, you didn't. You said you believe it because I guess I intuitively feel that way. I guess you realize we can't argue about that in that case, right? You're just babbling. It's like, okay, I believe this because I believe it. It's like, okay, I don't know what you want me to do with that. Hello. Hello.
We hear you. He's just like on mute or something. Unless like I'm
Oh, okay.
retarded and my shit broke too.
Oh, okay, no problem. No problem.
Yeah, after this, if y'all want to go up to stage VC and loud mic each other, I will permit that.
You just packed him out VC, Dio. What the hell? Like, chill out.
In my opinion, I think Dio's like slamming Dio right now.
You want my opinion?
Sure, we'd love your
I
opinion,
think
man.
I think he's pretending someone busted in his room, so he has a minute to collect himself.
Well, I do know Monkey King, and it isn't in character for his like mom to pull up on him with the strap. So,
Yeah,
he
that's
Oh,
he
for
really
real?
could be
my.
muted.
Yeah, that's true. That's just what happened.
Oh, I knew it. All
Oh,
right.
my bad, man.
I'm in character. Yeah, that's in character. That happens all the time. I'm sorry.
My bad. Okay, maybe we got off on the wrong foot. So basically, all I'm trying to say is if we're debating and I'm asking, and we're having a moral argument, and I'm asking you, okay, why do you believe what you believe? And you say it's just intuitive. I go, okay, that's not really substantial. That's not really a substantial form of reasoning as to why you believe what you believe or why you believe it's right or wrong. Because, like we said earlier, intuition isn't a good judgment of morality. Like, for example, I gave earlier, a pedophile can have his brain telling him it's okay to fuck children, but obviously rationality can counteract that. So I'm asking in a rational sense, in what form is your moral judgments, like what substantive form of reasoning do you have for your moral judgments to say that a shrimp is in any relevant way dumber than a chicken to where you would grant one moral consideration and not the other?
Mhm. So you want to count that as your conclusion, so we don't go in circles.
Oh, are we concluding? I was just
No, just for this topic, just for this point.
oh, you just
We're
kind of want
going
to
in
move
heavy
on
circles.
in terms of like the morality stuff.
Yeah, the morality stuff.
Um, well, I guess I don't know because
We've probably
I
said the
guess
same thing
with your
at least 10 times.
yeah, I agree. I guess with your like I guess with your premises there, or not your premises, but your points there, I guess like if one fails, then the whole thing fails. So
Well,
I
that
don't
would be my
really,
first defense, right?
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So I'm saying like I don't really get the relevance of debating the second part if I think the first part has been not properly defended.
I mean, I think I have properly defended. Actually, I think I've done it like excludingly well. I don't think you've refuted.
Uh-huh. Via intuition, right?
Huh?
Via intuition, right?
Not just intuition. Explain
Well,
something.
that's the only reason you gave. Like I said, I asked earlier, like
No, I explained more than
for
just
a
intuition.
reason. Well, I gave earlier for a reason besides intuition as to why, you know,
Yeah,
you
I
would
address.
you would say that you would say that's the case.
All right. So can I give my conclusion now? You want to count that as your conclusion so we can move on to the next?
Well, I'm not really interested in debating further if your point isn't being properly defended, because from there your argument just kind of falls apart. And I don't want to turn this into a very long-winded conversation because I have to go in about 20 minutes or so.
I mean, okay, you want to just leave it at this point then and see who won this one?
Okay. I mean, I think, yeah, okay.
You can go for your conclusion, then we.
Okay. So in conclusion, this debate was about veganism. I took a normative stance saying I believe you ought to be vegan. I said basically just my premise was pretty simple. I just said, well, I think I don't have any reason not to give animals moral consideration, just to be consistent within myself. Um, so that was basically just my premise. Yada yada. Um, we divulged into a conversation mostly revolving around his premises, and so his premises were. Um, Let me read here. His premises were as follows: a system of harmless slaughter for beings with, for one, lower intelligence than a chicken, while also being from a species without moral agency. Basically, the entire debate just revolved around this first premise: beings with lower intelligence than a chicken. And then we focused on things like fish and shrimp. Um, so when it came to shrimp, I gave multiple documents. The first one being a guide for keeping shrimp that asserts that shrimp are social creatures and therefore socially intelligent. He asked for more scholarly articles. I gave an entire, I think it was 35, 45 page document, a scholarly article from basically, from what I could tell, by looking up the author, one of the leading researchers on shrimp intelligence and shrimp social intelligence. He didn't want to click on the link just because of like doxing shit, which I understand. Um, so if you want to, after this conversation, I can send you the author name too, to see if you want to do more research. Because by looking up his name, I couldn't find the book, but I found a lot of other shit that he did on like shrimp studies and shit. So I just gave a screenshot of the conclusion, which is basically just showcasing how shrimp are intelligent in many different ways. Um, and then from there, I asked him to showcase. We got into like a little divulgent about plants. I asked for him to showcase how plants are eusocial. He didn't really showcase anything counteracting that. And then we really just got stuck on. I said, well, I personally think a shrimp is dumber than a chicken. He said, well, okay, well, then my first conclusion has been met. And I said, well, no, intelligence isn't a stipulation for me. I'm asking you, in what relevant way is a shrimp dumber than a shrimp being dumber than a chicken relevant? In what relevant way would you classify that? And also, in what relevant way would you classify the difference to where you wouldn't grant one, where you would grant one moral consideration and not the other? And he said, well, it's my moral system. I can just think it intuitively. And it's like, well, okay, well, then you're not giving a reason. If your reason's intuition, then it's not really a substantive reason at all. I can think whatever I think because I think it, but if we're going to have a debate, you have to give a substantive reason as to why that's the case. And from there, his first premise falls apart, and therefore his argument, in my opinion. That's just about how the argument went. So that's my thoughts on it. That's my argument. And he can conclude now.
Awesome. I just want to start off this debate by saying thank you, Ian Pecan, for spending some time to debate me. I do want to defend him a little bit in the point where he did send me something after, which I did address, by the way, just saying. But he did send me something out there that wasn't something I had to click on, so I did see the evidence he was talking about, at least a form of it. Now to get to my position. We initially started with him talking about how I ought to be a vegan in my moral system. He said he's taken it normatively. I simply asked him how exactly he's attributing the property of wrongness to the slaughter of animals. And he said, "Oh, well, I think you should value this." And I said, "Oh, I do value some animals, but under certain stipulations, I don't grant moral consideration." After that, we went into the first stipulation, which is which was the lower intelligence than a chicken. We went through social intelligence and spatial intelligence, things like that. We ended up just addressing social intelligence, maybe lack of time, I'm not sure. But we talked about social things, and I kind of gave some example. He brought up the pheromone idea and the collective growing idea, where they essentially grow together in a collective group to benefit each other. I gave prime examples, 2 different articles that can help be addressed. I thought plants do the same. He agreed that plants don't have complex social systems. Then right after, he verbatim agreed with me that shrimp are stupider than chickens or dumber than chickens. So we ended up agreeing on that point, and then he tried to weasel his way out of saying that he didn't agree with that, even though we blatantly agreed on that. So I think he did agree with my first stipulation. Overall, I think I rhetorically won here, just via the fact that I was consistently on the offensive and not the defensive. Second, I want to say that I argumentatively won here. First, because he didn't fulfill his premise, and second, because he didn't attack my second stipulation, and I don't think he sufficiently attacked my reasoning for my moral system, which was both intuition and reason, something he also bases his moral system off of. He said, "What's the reason?" I think intuition is a reason. I said that before. I also think reason is a reason, like intelligence is a reason, reasoning with your brain. So I think we base our moral systems off the two same fundamental bootstraps. That's why I think he didn't attack why I understood my moral system. He didn't attack my stipulations for my moral system. That's pretty much my conclusion. And he didn't fulfill his premise.
Okay.
Okay. Nice talking to you, Joe.
You too.
Yo, what's good? Yo, Dio number
That
one.
might be a Monkey King L.
Focus on his
Unironically.
face, bro.
Wait,
I'm
you
not
think I
gonna let
lost that? Wait, Frank, you hop into Oppo's private.
Dio number one slammed.
I
I
honestly
think
have.
I don't think he slammed, but I think he won.
Fresh, you're so fat.
Let's go to Oppo. Go to
No
Oppo's.
diff, no diff. Yes, sir. Dio number one
Fresh, you're
Wait,
W.
fat.
get back,
No, you
Fresh.
read.
You're
Look at
literally
some.
tapping. We can.
Dio number
Ooh.
one.